Almost every video in this series has touched on editing in some way, from just mentioning spell checking to the importance of continuity. It does not matter how much research you do. If a reader has to work too hard to read your paper, they won't. They'll just stop. And if a professor does that, it means an F. So, what can you do? When people are reading and encounter a misspelled word or poor grammar, it causes a blip in their concentration. If they have to stop to think about what you meant to say with one word or phrase, the overall meaning is lost. Another particularly important reason for taking the time to get it right is that employers want professional employees. If you provide terrible work, it's a reflection on them. They want to look good for their customers, and you have to help. It's too easy today to get the spelling right, so there is really no reason for this problem. Grammar is just as important. When you use poor grammar, again, the reader has to stop to figure out what you mean. You want your words to make an impact, not turn them against you. Like with spelling, it is easy to get this right, so there is no excuse except for laziness and a lack of caring that prevents you. No one will hire a person like that. There are plenty of free tools out there to help you. Let's look at spelling first. Here it is really a matter of choosing the right word processing program. Google Docs does not have a spell checker. It will show you what it thinks is spelled wrong with red lines underneath, but it is up to you to find them all. The spell checker in Word has the best flexibility and range of features of any on the market. That is why it is the standard for most professionals. The library computers have Microsoft products, and there is a link to a free version on the library website Spelling and Grammar Checker page. Let's talk about homophones for a minute. Homophones are words that sound the same but have different spellings. To, there, it's. These three examples are the most common, but there are hundreds more. It is worth your time to understand the differences. The fewer mistakes you make in preparing your assignments, the less amount of time you have to spend on editing. One thing to remember is that a spell checker's sole purpose is to find words that are not in its dictionary. If a word is spelled correctly, the spell checker does not look at it for other problems, like if it is a homophone or just a mistyped letter that turns pork into porn. That is what a grammar checker is for. You need both. Word does have a grammar checker that is pretty good, but the right tool for grammar checking is Grammarly's free version. There are plenty of paid products out there, but until you are a professional, consider sticking with the free version. Grammarly is easy to use, and their explanations are really easy to understand. Do not just accept all the changes Grammarly suggests. Read each explanation and make sure it applies to your work. It's not that they get it wrong, it's that context can change the necessary grammar. Grammar and punctuation go hand in hand. Here is where you find run-on or confusing sentences. Grammarly is good for this, too. There are two other important steps you must take. Both are fairly easy. First, read your work out loud. If you can read through it smoothly, you have probably eliminated most of the problems. If you trip over words, stall out, have to stop to find your place, or anything else, you need to stop to find out why. Very often we find little mistakes this way, such as writing and instead of an. Word will never find that. Grammarly probably. The other major problem found through this method are sentences that just don't make sense. If you can't follow the thought through the whole sentence or paragraph, you need to reword it. Second, get someone else to read it. This is far more important than you might think. You get familiar with your work and know what you intended to say. Another reader can tell you whether you actually said it or not. You have to make sure they will be sincere, and if someone asks you to read for them, you have to actually help. Point out the parts you do not understand or that sound awkward. As always, please contact the library if you have any questions. We're here for you.